Lastly, we will have the Auto Pulse. We look ahead to the future of mobility, where electric, connected, and autonomous technologies redefine how the world moves. The world is changing faster than ever, and today, the conversation about tomorrow begins here. Welcome to WION World Pulse, the rhythm of the new world order.
And to officially open WION World Pulse 2026, it is both my honor and a privilege to introduce a visionary widely regarded as the architect of India's private television revolution, a pioneer, a nation builder, and the man who transformed an idea into an industry. Dr. Subhash Chandra, the founder and mentor of Z Group and former Rajya Sabha member. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Subhash Chandra to deliver the inaugural address of WION World Plus.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Friends from... Can somebody stop this? Please request the hotel to stop this conversation. Friends from the industry, defense, our friends from diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I remember some of the events in the life cycle of right from beginning or before Z was born in 1992. Legal experts in India told me in end of 1990, when this idea of starting a private sector television in India was germing in my mind, that you cannot do it in India because the laws of the land do not permit private sector television, nor you can download the signal of television from a foreign satellite. So my innocent question was that how come we are watching CNN during the Gulf War? If you recollect, the Gulf War had started towards the third, fourth quarter of 1990 and was going on till February of 1991. So they said, yeah, and it was probably the first televised war, I would say, of the world. And I recollect that a lot of friends used to go to five-star hotels and sit there and watch the Gulf War, because the satellite dish normally was being put in the hotels for the foreign guests. So it was available in the hotels. So that thing that CNN is a news network covering events across the globe stayed in my mind. Just a thought crossed at that time, why can't India have such a news network? But then, that time the thought was only just a fraction of a second. because I was working on launching Z as an entertainment network that time. And later on, in an event which took place in a hotel just close by, and it was 18th of December 2005, when my friend Raghav Bahal was launching CNN IBN. And that was inaugurated by the then Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh. And I was sitting with him, chatting with him, and that thought came to my mind, and I told him, sir, we should also have something similar like CNN for India. And he asked me a few questions. And while answering them, I said that CNN was launched in America in 1980 with $1 billion funds from Pentagon. Oh, he said, yeah, is it? Yes. I said, yes, sir. I said, we must have in India also, but cannot be done by a private party because it requires lots of money. He asked a few more questions, and I thought that that was the end of it. But surprisingly, I got a call from PMO in the next couple of days. And we started talking, and I gave them a lot of details, told them how Z network can help. By then, Z, which was launched in 1992, had spread its wings across the globe in more than 170 countries that time, with about 350 million viewers outside India. And I mentioned to them that it will take about $400 million that time. That time dollar was 45 rupees. I said it will take about 1,500 to 1,800 crore in 3-4 years to establish such a network. And surprisingly, 500 crore was earmarked in the budget of 2007. I don't know how many people know about it. Even my friend Anurag Batra is sitting here. He knows everything what happens in the media. So, but that time, as expected, there were at least 12 people who were wanting to claim that 500 crore to launch an international network. Everybody then said, I can do it and I'm more capable than Z and everything. Eventually, friends, that money was lapsed, and PMO told me one day that, sorry, we are abandoning the project because we cannot give to anybody who cannot launch it properly, and they will not let you take this money. So that be it. But that thought never died from my mind. And on 14th May 2017, WION was launched by Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, on the occasion which had seen our group, SL Group's 90th year celebration. By the way, we will be just completing in this year 100 years of our group's business existence. So friends, as the name suggests, Word is One News. That is how detailed name of WION is. That has been designed based on the spirit and inspirations from Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Many of you are aware, if my friends from diplomatic corps and foreign countries, for your knowledge, it was first time Swami Vivekananda gave this thought into a religious parliament in the United States of America. Hence, the spirit of WION are also anchored in this timeless philosophy of Bharat. Today's summit, WION's Pulse, hopefully will capture this spirit our world needs the most in these troubled times. I know that we have a show in WION which is named as World at War. Though currently we have 3 regions probably at war, and all the diplomatic members from these 3 regions are present here today. But I would say that this decade, which started from 2001, and I would say ending at 2030, is a most decisive decade of our times. And this is the decade which will redefine and reshape the entire geopolitics, economics, power equation, power bases, and even supply chains to that extent. This summit of WION Pulse seeks to decode this movement as the future is shaped by the signals of present. Wars and conflicts are making the headlines and dominating the conversation in these days. These are happening in the contrast to the concept of WION. Strategic rivalries are shaping alliances and institutions. Narratives are increasingly divided along geopolitical lines, which brings us to the fundamental question for the global media, and that is, if the world is one family, are we behaving like one? That's the major question. Friends, India, until the end of 20th century, wasn't a very significant player in the geopolitical narrative, but today it is. No one can ignore the 1.4 billion strong nation with not only growing its own economy in domestic terms, which is far better than most of the countries in the world, but it also playing a decisive role in global economy through its talented pool of human resource. There isn't any large corporation in the world where the Indian talents are not involved. Hence, the governments and the other 3 pillars of the society will have to keep the flag of the narrative to give centuries ago's Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam a fillip, and that is very much required in today's time. I would say that in such a world, the responsibility of legacy media becomes even more significant. We are living in an era of information overload, where social media, algorithms, and instant commentary shape perception at extraordinary speed. Legacy media like Z News, WION, carries the responsibility to provide context in moment of crisis, distinguish facts from noise, and ensure that complex global developments are understood with clarity and speed by its viewers across the globe. At a time when narratives can easily become polarized, journalism must strive to inform without inflaming and connect rather than divide. My friends at Diplomatic Corps who are present here, I would say that the diplomacy needs the credible global platforms like WION. In a fractured and rapidly evolving world, diplomacy and dialogue need credible platforms. Policymakers, strategists, and thinkers need spaces where ideas can be exchanged openly and perspectives can be understood across the borders. I'm sure today you all are sitting under the same roof when there is a conflict going around in your territories, in your countries. But I hope the WION Pulse will give you some perspective for you to report to your counterparts in your countries. With this, I would say that in doing so, we will strengthen the ecosystem of global dialogue, understanding, and cooperation. Ultimately, friends, the purpose of WION and WION World Pulse is simple: to listen to the pulse of our times, because the future of global order will not be shaped by one nation or one narrative alone. It will be shaped by how the world understands itself today. And if the idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, if still resonates, then forums like these becomes essential spaces where that family can come together, exchange ideas, and reflect on the path ahead. With this, welcome and thank you again for coming and joining us in these times, and hopefully when we meet next chapter of WION Pulse, we will have better and peaceful times ahead. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for kickstarting this extremely significant WION World Pulse 2026 that we are hosting in times of conflict, as Dr. Chandra spoke about. And we are, of course, awaiting the arrival of Mr. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, Union Minister for Tourism and Culture. But let's also tell you what all we have lined up today for you. There are several sessions that will be happening through the day today. Interesting conversations from global voices, policymakers, strategists, all of them will be here, converging here to make sure that we not just simplify complex geopolitical and geo-economic issues for you, but also find a solution forward, find a way forward. And that is why we are getting you, conversations on diplomacy, on geopolitics, on the wars that are happening, on the conflicts, on the economic.
चलिए फिलहाल वक्त तो चला, छोटे से ब्रेक का, जल्द हाजिर होंगे।